So, Aljo, first off, the last time we spoke, it was after your title defense. You were looking to take a vacation somewhere with a beach, and I know Jamaica, where your family's from, was one of the options. Where'd you end up going?
Man, where did we go?
You
Uh,
forgot?
yeah, that's actually fascinating. Did I go? I don't even know if we actually went anywhere. Now that you mentioned that, I would have to look through Instagram. Oh, I went away for my birthday. I know Rebecca came. I think she just came to Vegas, because she was still in nursing school.
Right.
So we didn't have the time to go anywhere too long. Yeah, I don't think we went anywhere.
Oh, that's too bad. You're
Yeah,
you're gonna have
yeah,
to make time after this one though, especially
yeah,
now it's getting
100%.
cold again.
Yeah, she's done with nursing school now. So now we both have the time after this fight. We can just kind of go decompress. And obviously for her graduating was a big deal. So we'll get to actually celebrate that and get her something that she can enjoy as well. So it's gonna be fun.
Excellent.
Man, that's actually fascinating. I just realized we actually never went anywhere.
That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get there this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
We
wanted
will.
to ask you too. Kind of on the idea of you were thinking about going to Jamaica. Leon Edwards, obviously born in Jamaica, uh, trains in Britain, grew up in Britain, but like the child of Jamaicans is now a champion. You guys snapped a photo together just after he won the welterweight belt. What does that mean to you now that there's another, you know, person of the same background as you who's a champion in the UFC? What does it mean to you?
I think it's huge. I think it's monumental for the sport. I think it's monumental for the country. Um, and for him, it's a little bit more endearing, I think, because he was actually born there before moving to the UK. Me, I just went there a couple of times as a youth and as an adult, obviously. After what was it? After my fight with Henan Barrow is when I went down there for 2 weeks. I did like some free seminars and stuff like that, just to like give back to the community, that type of thing. So I think him and myself will be able to inspire so many people. I get a lot of messages from Jamaicans and people that either live in the States and they're first generation Jamaicans as well, and just letting us know how proud they are of me and of course of Leon Edwards. And even before Leon won the belt, there was like a lot of support for him to be the next guy to win the belt. And it's kind of rough because I like Kamaru as well, and we're I don't want to say we're like friends or boys or anything like that, but we're cool. We hang out whenever we see each other, kind of thing. We say what's up. So that was kind of like a bittersweet kind of a victory because you never want to see somebody lose like that. And obviously, you want to see your another countryman do well because we just know what it means to the nation, you know. So it's been nice. And for him, I told him, man, enjoy it, man, because myself and him, we don't know how long it's gonna last. Like, enjoy the ride. You earn the fruits of your labor. Like, take full advantage of that, but at the same time, make sure you do whatever you can to protect that because the target's on your back now. You know, everyone's gonna be gunning for you. Everyone's looking at you, dissecting your game, and trying to see where they can get an advantage or trying to see how they can get to that spot to take you out. You know, so I think Leon will be all right though. That was obviously a tough fight for him, and for him to just stick through the adversity and eventually find a way to win, and something that they've been working on in the gym, you know, paid off. And it just goes to show you the mind and the mental toughness that he has. You know, so um, I look forward to his next fight as much as I look forward to my next fight.
Right, but your next fight is much sooner, obviously, than his. Yours is
Yeah.
just come a couple weeks away. But it's also 3 weeks before UFC is going to be at Madison Square Garden, in your backyard. You have never fought in your home state, which surprised me. I know obviously it was legalized more recently, but still surprised me you hadn't fought here before. Would you have liked the chance to compete in your home state for this one?
It would have been nice. You know, I fought here as an amateur. Unfortunately, New York State won't let me fight here as a pro for whatever medical reasons that they deem is different from any other state and other country. Because clearly I can fight in Abu Dhabi, but I can't fight in New York, which really makes no sense. I think
What's
they're
the
a little
story
bit.
with that, Alja? What's the story there?
I mean, I couldn't give you the correct technical terms, but they use the medical jargon to try to make it seem like it's smarter than what it just gets weird. It's like, dude, it's pretty black and white. I can compete in all these other states. I'm sure they have medical doctors. They have their own rules or whatever. You guys have your own rules. how come you're the only one that won't get on board versus everybody else? It's like them being on the list of banning athletes again and banning the sport the way that they were and taking so long to accept that this sport can do so much for the state in terms of revenue, creating job opportunities. It is what it is, though. It is. I guess the nicer part is not having so many people who like reach out to you for tickets and stuff like that. Even though a bunch of people still reach out to me for tickets, I'm like, dude, I don't sell tickets anymore. Those days are long gone. The last time I sold tickets was for Cage Fury, and even then, when I was selling the tickets, people would never come buy them. But now everybody wants to buy them, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's that support would have been nice back then when I actually got a cut of the ticket sales. I don't get a cut of the ticket sales now, so I don't know. It would be nice to fight there eventually before it's all said and done. But again, I fought there as an amateur before, not nowhere near on this type of scale, but it would be nice. But I'm not like, hey man, if you guys don't want to change the rules, you guys don't want to change the rules. I'm not gonna keep fighting with these guys back and forth. There's no winning, so it is what it is.
When did this start? Like, when did this whole thing with New? Like, when's the first time you tried to get licensed in New York to fight?
Multiple times. They had multiple events in New York that they tried to get me on, and I was on the card for like a split second, then I was off the card almost as fast as they put me on, So it's just been weird. Like I said, I can fight anywhere else. I'm going overseas and I'm competing. You would think that it'd be okay. So hopefully they just get their shit together, man, because New York's a great state. We're definitely taxed really high, really high though. But
yeah, you hear that a lot of fighters don't want to fight here because of the taxes.
Yeah. So again, like it's one of those things that would be nice to do because of all the love that I think I would get from people that I haven't seen in years and that I grew up with. But in terms of saving money, I'm not really like that pressed about it.
Of course. And like you said, this one's overseas against TJ Dillashaw, and you've not been shy, of course, of taunting him for the suspension, the use of EPO, all this kind of thing. It's obviously it's an easy target, right? How much of this is kind of just building hype, verbal warfare, that kind of thing, versus like how much you're actually irked by the fact that he used PEDs to begin with?
Oh, definitely 100% irked by that. I mean, there is no I think any athlete who's competing clean would say that they don't give two shits for TJ, or anybody for that matter who's doing stuff like that. At the end of the day, I respect him as an athlete in the sense of like he has the desire and the will and the heart to actually get in the cage and fight against another human weapon that's been training to break him down. And that's commendable. I think that takes a certain type of mindset and a certain type of grit that you got to have and character. But at the end of the day, he's not a clean athlete. He's never been a clean athlete in the UFC, as far as I know personally from his own teammates. So he can say whatever he wants that, oh, I'm building in excuses. I'm like, is it building in excuses? Like, I already made peace with the fact, like when I fought Pedro, when I fought Petr Yan, when I fought Marlon Moraes, when I fought all these guys, there's so many people that I've competed against, and I still have question marks on how they made it to the octagon cleanly or legally. And in the back of my mind, all I can control is what I can do. So I already made peace with it. I'm going to fight this guy. Win or lose, I'm stepping in the cage with him. It's not going to be, oh, you beat me because it is. Like when I beat you, even if you're on this stuff again, that just makes me look that much better. And if you are on it, that's whatever, I accept that too. It's just one of the things that you got to accept, so if he's on it, he's on it, whatever. I'm going to fight him regardless. So he can say whatever he wants. I mean, you can say built-in excuses regardless. The truth is the truth. And he knows the type of guy that he is. So for him to make some type of fifth grader, or not even fifth grade, like third grade excuse reasoning, oh, you're just scared. Oh, you're just like, that's your big convincing statement that you're fighting cleanly this time. You acting like a 30-year-old saying, yeah, I know you are, but what am I? Like, that's the type of mentality that this guy has. He's like one of those jocks that just, I don't know. Like I said, man, I did everything the hard way. I had no shortcuts in this sport. I fought all the best guys and I did it cleanly, and TJ will be no different from anybody else.
Do you think he's clean now?
No, I don't. I mean, I know he's got the clean juice. his little restaurant that he has, which is so ironic. The guy who's got popped for sticking needles up his bum has a restaurant called Clean Juice. I mean, if irony had a face or a picture in the dictionary, it's TJ standing next to Clean Juice with a needle in one hand, a bottle of a smoothie shake in the other. So
how do you look at like his because he obviously had 2 different reigns as champion. How do you look back at those? Are they, I mean, they're tainted in your mind, it sounds like.
oh, 100% tainted. And you know, I think it was back when it was like the Ultimate Fighter, which was at 2013. I think he got knocked out by Dotson in the finale and then came back on this crazy run. And on that run, that's when the rumblings had started about TJ being on stuff. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And it wasn't coming from people that were outside the gym. There's people that are inside your gym that are talking about it. And those people have also still confirmed to this day that he was doing shit way back then. So he can say whatever he want. Oh, USADA tested me. Oh, they tested my OSIN. Like, TJ, stop. Just stop. You came clean, right? You got caught and then you came clean. So just come clean about the whole thing. Like, who cares at this point? Like, we all know already. It's like you have this big red mark on your head and we're trying to tell you and you're trying to say, no, it's not there. No, it's not there. I'm telling you it's not. Like, dude, just give it a rest. Like, we know what it is already. You're a cheater. That's the type of person you are. It's your MO. Whoever fights you is going to fight you like that way or not, you know, and the better man is going to win. And hopefully when I'm 50 and when you're 50 and you're falling apart, you'll know why. And you'll see if it was worth it for you to do all that stuff to your body at this age, you know? So look at him now. Look at his body falling apart now. I wonder why. I really wonder why.
Now, obviously, if you win here, you'll have wins over, I guess it's the 3 of the top 4 ranked contenders in your weight class. The other being, of course, your pal Merab Dvalishvili. And I understand you guys aren't interested in fighting each other. There's a deep friendship there, but who ought to be next in line against you in the scenario where you win?
I honestly not even thinking that far ahead. I gotta get past this dirty little weasel first and then go from there. There's no shortage of talent in this division. Like, anyone could be a world champion tomorrow, you know. So I won't have any problem finding an opponent. And obviously Merab and I will have to figure out how things will go. This fight, granted I win. It's a good problem to have. Granted I lose, it opens the door wide open for him. And I'm realistic about that. And I'm not like, it is what it is, man. Like, I have no desire to stop Merab from achieving his dreams. And the same way he's helped me achieve mine, I'm going to help him achieve his, so that's just a type of friendship that we have, unlike these other people who are just, as they would say, a snake in the grass, so that's where I'm at. I'm not, like I said, I'm not thinking about anything else but just defending the belt, securing my future for myself and my family, and opening up more opportunities. And that's what the sport is for, using it as a segue into other things, other avenues, that can be have more longevity, in the sense of fighting is such a short career window. One day the music will stop, and I want to make sure that I'm set up for life. And that's what this fight is for me. The winning is huge, of course, but I mean, I've won, I've lost in life. Like people make a big deal out of that stuff, and I really don't. It's the performance. If I have a good performance, I'm happy. Like, I got 3 houses. I put my mom somewhere. I bought my mom a car. I think I'm doing pretty damn okay for a young black kid from Uniondale, who really came up from nothing with immigrant parents, So for me, I've won in life already. This is just the icing on the cake. And taking out TJ Dillashaw will be the best icing on the cake that you could possibly get.
So I wanted to ask you, I asked a lot of fighters this. Do you remember your first experience watching MMA?
Yeah. It was when I was a young kid. I was just scrolling through the TV. I didn't even know what a channel guide was. This is how taught I was at home. Like, just the home training, in the sense of like parents like showing you how things worked. We didn't necessarily have that growing up, man. You kind of just figured it out on your own. I don't know if it was like a cultural thing, but I learned a lot of things on my own. And then I would just scroll through the channels at night, multiple nights in a row, hoping that I would just find MMA. And I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know what the UFC was, but that's what it was that was on TV. And I just never knew when it would come on. And sometimes I would find it, and I was just always like intrigued and fascinated by it. I couldn't tell you who it was that was fighting. I was too young, and didn't really pay attention to that. I was just watching like the sport, just watching these guys get after it.
How old are you about at this point?
Man, I'm gonna say maybe middle school. Middle school, that would have been like 2000, or maybe my freshman year in high school. I don't know, maybe something like that. But yeah, I didn't really know what I feel like I from the way I remember it, I didn't even know what a channel guide was, like to show you what time certain things come on, and um yeah, I'm gonna say maybe high school. I feel like it was maybe high school that I saw it. Maybe like my freshman year or eighth grade year or something like that. And that would have been like 2002, 2003. But I don't remember it being on TV really like that. But you could find like some stuff that would just randomly come on, if I remember correctly. I mean, maybe I'm mixing up the years, but that's kind of the way I remember it.
And the last question I want to ask you is, another question I like to ask fighters is, what is the coolest technique in combat sports?
The coolest technique. As long as you don't sweat the technique, rock him. But coolest technique. Man, there's so many good stuff. For me, it's gonna be a submission. I enjoy the triangle choke for some reason, and I enjoy a good Peruvian necktie. For me,
Great choices. We were actually talking. My buddy and I were talking about the Peruvian necktie recently. It's a good one.
yeah. Marab actually hits that a lot. Me, and then he kind of re-inspired me to start doing it again, and now I go for it a lot more too. So yeah, I like the necktie. It's a fascinating way to get strangled.
Maybe we'll see it in the Middle East in a few weeks.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be sick.
All right. Well, Aljo, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you very much again for your time. We'll talk again soon. All right.
Thanks, bro.